Howdy folks, it is Monday night. It is time for another Q&A, and if you're new here on the channel, this is your time to ask any questions about drones, anything you want to know. Put them in the comments and I will get to them. So we have Ethan in the house. He's right behind there controlling the cameras in the new studio. We have, I think Tom actually might be doing the questions today. Jason was busy because there was a standoff a couple blocks away, not a couple blocks, several blocks away on the other side of downtown here in Prescott. And he was flying the Matrice 4 for testing for a deep dive. And then he noticed that there was a police barricade and a bearcat, two bearcats, and then snipers on the roof and the whole shebang. So I think he's been busy looking at that. And so Tom is taking over right now the comments. But anyways, yeah, good times in Prescott. It's pretty rare that we get this kind of stuff around here. So when we do, it's kind of the attraction of town, I guess, if you want to say that. Let's say hi to a bunch of people before we get to the questions. And we can take a look. Yeah, I have bangs. Yeah, my hair. I spend a couple hours a day in what I call focus mode, and I use my Apple Vision Pros to do that, so I can be in my environment really looking only at one thing with no the disturbance from the outside, and that's why my hair is a bit of a mess. And I usually do that right before the live, so I spend the last couple hours reviewing a chapter of the new PPL course. So good stuff. All right, saying hi to Glenn Cootie is here, Thorough Inspired as always, Eric Rushschneider, Alex Blankenship, Travis Cheney, Northern Drone Guy, Curtis Warren, Richard Hooker, our own Jillian from the community, she's back. We have Bob Rock, Scott Beautiful Photography, Videography. We have Thumb Drone. Sorry, Thumb Butte is landscape here nearby. Thumb Drone. We have NL Wolf. We have After Eyes Media, Hungarian Drone Pilot, Steve A, Retired Fire Chief, our own Tom right here. Jay Gilormini. We have Lou, Old Deadeye. Real Estate with Bradley, Preston Newman. Anyway, a ton of folks. Our friend Vic Moss from Moss Photography, Texas Drone Company is here as well. That's our friend Jared. We have First Medic. Who am I missing? Colorado Drone Guy. TIE Fighter 4100. Trying to see if I'm missing Sigma Drone View. Anyways, I think I've said hi to most folks, but yeah, thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. It's been a busy week already. It's only Monday. And then last week we finished a green screen with the production team finished a green screen. So we have a fully functional green screen right now, which is really exciting. We are working on set A, I think is the next set, which is on that side right here. You guys haven't really seen that just yet, but it's going to be really cool. And then set C is, I think, mostly done now. We can probably start recording. So we've got a really big schedule of things to record for the next couple weeks, so expect some new content. Exciting stuff. Travis, let's get with the questions. Travis, I was watching the news last week and talked about security for Pope Francis' funeral. I saw that drone jammers were being used. Is it possible for the Department of Correction to get their hands on them? Yeah, I actually saw images as well. I think it was on Reddit. People were asking, what are these big things? And it looks like they were drone jammers, which you can imagine is probably a pretty big threat with that kind of event where you have all the world leaders that are pretty much all in one place at once. So a rogue drone is probably the last thing that they want to see at those kind of events, especially with what's going on in Ukraine. So yeah, really interesting. As far as the Department of Corrections, these things are pretty regulated, heavily regulated in the United States. So I don't know who has them. I don't know who has the authority to use them, but typically these are going to be limited to the federal government because they jam the airwaves. Northern Drone Guy says, do you have any update on BV loss, beyond visual line of sight, or proposed test areas? No, not at the moment. I don't know if you're referring to Part 108, but Part 108 is still in the works. And so it's, yeah, not a whole lot of news from there, if I may say. TIE Fighter 4100 says, I want to take my drone onto a commercial flight. I have a Nevada 2 and a Mini 4 Pro. What can I do with the batteries and the drone itself? Asking for recommendation. Yeah, for travel, it's actually pretty straightforward. Take everything with you in the cabin. No batteries are allowed in the baggage compartment. So don't check any of these bags with batteries. They will take them away. They will find them and then take them away. So that's really it. I mean, we've traveled multiple times with drones with sometimes what we thought was going to be too many batteries. We just went to Sun and Fun not too long ago. Not necessarily with just drone batteries, but with a lot of batteries. For sure, my bag was going to be caught because we had a battery for our dog, our robot dog, and that battery is massive and heavy. And nope, never got questioned or anything. So it's kind of exciting. Retired Fire Chief says, what is it that with these states like Florida saying that the FAA is slow for not doing anything about remote ID? Am I asking something on this? Am I missing something on this? I mean, I haven't seen that specific comment, but I don't know what the FAA, I don't know what the states want the FAA to do with remote ID. Remote ID is not super duper reliable technology at the moment. I mean, there are devices that will catch the information and provide it to law enforcement. I think it's being used at events, but I don't know really what else the states really want the FAA to do with it. So, Sigma Drone View says, I just bought a DJI Air 3S, waiting for it to show up in the mail. This will be my first drone with remote ID. Is there anything that I need to do differently when just registering under Part 107? Yeah, when you go and register that drone under Part 107, it's going to ask you if it's compliant with remote ID, to which you're going to say yes. And then you'll just enter the remote ID number, which is the registration number for your drone. You'll find that in the About section of the drone. And then, yeah, you'll be good to go. Just Johnny 2012 says, best place to sell a DJI Mini 2 complete setup. Don't use Facebook Marketplace. 3,500 miles to my goal of 24,901 miles in cycling, and splitting my time with that and a Mini 3 Pro and my Air 3S. Wow, 35. Where are you going, Johnny? That's a ton of miles, 24,000 miles. I'm guessing you're traveling across several countries, probably, which would be really cool. Yeah. Best place to sell. I mean, Facebook Marketplace is pretty popular these days. But if you're going to be in a different place all the time, I don't know. I don't know. Where else do you sell things these days, I guess? Craigslist, yeah. OfferUp, yeah, no, not familiar though. Nextdoor if you want to sell to older people. Sorry. Oops. Preston Newsom says, I would love to visit the Pilot Institute facility if possible. Yeah, we do tours. Just give us a little bit of a heads up before you come in so that we can make sure that one, we're here, and two, that we have a time slot for you. So give us at least a week ahead, but yeah, we are open for that. Vic says, any students from Warren Tech today? ? I told your teacher about this AMA podcast at the aviation event. Hope she passed it along. That would be cool. Let us know if you're in the comments. Preston says, how's the tariff going to affect drone enthusiasts? I mean, it's not in a good way. It's gonna make drones far more expensive, potentially double the price. And yep. I don't know what else to say. It might make some drones unavailable because of the cost of buying these drones, unaffordable, I should say, to some people. So that sucks. I think it's gonna definitely affect people that are trying to start in this industry, and it's not a good thing. Question for a friend: how do I get a new? Oh, that's our friend Jared. Question 4, friend. How do I get a new card? I mean, how does he get a new card? Very easy. You can type FA replacement certificate in Google. There will be a .gov link somewhere in there that will show you how to get a new one. I think it's $2. I think the price went up. It was $1 forever. I think they doubled the price recently, those greedy people at the FA. It's $2 to get a new card. Yep, you'll have a new issue date on the certificate, but all that counts is the date of your currency, not the date on the actual certificate. I thought you said that you had acquired a Matrice 4 to try out. Can you check if your fly route at 12 miles per hour or slower, or if it will do raw photos? Okay, let me read that again. Can you check if you fly route at 12 miles per hour or slower, if it will do raw photos? Well, we'll take a look at that. Jason was flying it earlier. I haven't even had a chance to put my hands on that drone yet, but we have it for a while, so I'm going to be looking at that. But Jason might be able to answer that question. Preston says, what's the best way to become a search and rescue? Any info will help, please. Thank you. I mean, you'd have to go talk to your local search and rescue group. Typically, the sheriff's office in most places puts on the search and rescue department. So go talk to them. They may or may not need your help. So I'm just going to say that we reached out to ours, and surprisingly, they weren't really interested in getting our help with drones. So I don't know what that was about necessarily, but. Tom says, I'm taking the Part 107 course and watched the Remote ID module video. Are there any updated recommendations for Remote ID modules, perhaps less expensive? There are a couple now that are available, but for the life of me, I cannot remember the name of it. There is one that's about $30 right now, I think on Amazon, that is compliant. And maybe some folks in the chat can talk about this, but yeah, they've come down in price to where I think they should be, like $30, I think, $30, which is way more, which makes way more sense than the hundreds of dollars that we saw before. What's the best other than Drone Deploy? Why so much? Yeah, Drone Deploy is not cheap, and none of the mapping services are cheap. I don't know why it's so expensive, but it is what it is because it provides a great service that can, get you a lot of money. I think is part of the reason, but I don't know if it's the best. It's one of them. There are other options out there, some free, some more expensive. Typically, this is from what Jared was telling us. Jared is our mapping expert who's in the chat right now. He might be able to answer that. But the idea is the more you pay, the more it saves you time on processing your data, essentially. Not necessarily the more you pay, but there are free options available, but typically they require you to do a lot more setup, which is using some of your own time, which means that you can't do something else with your time. So it's kind of like a shortcut if you buy. But WebODM is free, but like I said, it's going to take... excuse me. So I'm getting used to. Ooh. All right, next question. Eagle Lens Production says, is it the FAA responsibility to make an effort to educate the public and, more importantly, the politicians about drones? Seems like they are allowing the patients to run the hospital, if you get me. Yeah, I mean, I don't know that it's not the FAA's responsibility to educate the public necessarily. The FAA does some things to educate, but their job is to maintain a safe and efficient use of the airspace. And so, yeah, they did trust, which I think is a great step towards helping the community, learn about things. But then they leave it up to us, the educators, the training companies, to do the work. And quite frankly, it's probably better because we have a much better reach. We have much better resources to teach classes and to do all these things. So I'm not too mad about it, but as far as educating politicians, that's really not what the FAA does. This is the general public. The general public has the duty to hold politicians accountable for the things that they pass or try to pass. And so it's up to us to, express our voices. Now, will the FAA get involved when somebody's trying to overreach their boundaries? Yeah, absolutely. They have lawyers and they have a team available to do that. But yeah, that's it. Vic says we're boring. It's funny, every time I don't yawn at all day. And as soon as I start talking a lot like this, then I start yawning, which is just weird. Greg needs Red Bull. No, I think Red Bull would kill me, actually. Like literally, physically kill me. I think it would just get my heart rate and just kill me. I don't drink coffee, for those of you that don't know. It actually gives me the jitters and raises my blood pressure, so I can't even imagine what Red Bull would do. I'm naturally up and ready by the time I wake up, usually. Although the last several years it's been harder, but I usually don't need coffee. Anyways, Preston says, is 230 hours of flight time and 318 flights good? I mean, yeah, it's a decent amount of flight time, for sure. I don't even know how to answer this, but yeah, it's definitely a decent amount of time. Flight time is experience, so the more you have, the better. But I don't know. I've never looked at flight time up too closely. Yeah. Vic says Greg on Red Bull would be a pay-per-view event. I drink coffee like every once in a while, and then I'm usually just like the Flash, just walking around. I feel just so crazy. So anyways. Mushrooms. No mushrooms. Mushrooms will make you yawn. Really? No, I've never done drugs. No plans on doing that. My son is 9 and he'd like to learn to fly drones. That's awesome. Does he need to have special education? I'm a Part 107 holder. I mean, I would start with trust. I would just do trust with him, one-on-one, and use that as a discussion point. And then he'll have a little certificate that he'll be proud of. And then just fly with him, as you can be the pilot in command and he can be flying the drone, and then good to go. Christian says, is it not possible to purchase any Matrice series here in the United States? When I go to the website, it states not available in your country and region. So we saw that as well. There were quite a bit of discussion online. The official response that we've seen from DJI is that the drones, the pages are getting updated right now with the tariffs, and they're trying to figure out what is going on and how it is going to affect the pricing, I think, and availability. So I would say let's be patient for right now. But yes, I think you're right. At the moment, directly from the DJI website, you cannot buy them. I would say contact one of the resellers out there to go and buy a drone. There's quite a few of them, from Grasco, Drone Nerds, and all the others that are out there. Formerly Film Photography says, is there a reason why the FAA does not get ahead of this reasonable force issue? Put out public service announcements on media reminding folks what is legal, illegal, and at stake. So they did when the New Jersey thing was going on. The FAA actually put out a statement that you should not be shooting at drones. The FAA typically is not going to get involved with proposed regulation because that's all it is at the moment. And reasonable force is not really, it's not their purview, right? Funny enough, the regulation that says you can't shoot at drones is not an FAA regulation. It's from a different title. It's 49 USC. And so the FAA really is not the ones that are going to be enforcing that. I know it sounds weird, but yeah, the FAA doesn't get involved with that kind of stuff. Brian is asking the good questions here. So if I can find Godzilla, mixing it up with Mechagodzilla, would Mechagodzilla be considered a man-made structure, allowing me to fly up to 400 feet above and thus staying clear of the fracas? Good question, but I think how tall is Mechagodzilla, I guess, is the question. Scott says, a coworker found a drone in a tree. Keep it. It was a Section 2 S249. What is it? S249. Oh, sub 249. Should I give it to the police? I mean, you can. I don't know. It's probably the right thing to do, obviously. If there's no registration number on it, you won't be able to find it. You probably won't be able to find, I mean, you wouldn't be able to find anyway. You would have to contact someone at the FAA so that they can research the database. This is why we provide free registration stickers that have your phone number on it. So if you lose your drone in a tree, I would put, you know what I would do? I would take pictures, put a poster around the thing, and then ask people to come with the controller and see if the controller pairs, right? It's going to like see if the shoe matches the foot. Yeah, but yeah. Engineer, you could also post something that with a pixelized picture that says found drone in a tree. Come and describe it and then see if it's yours. So Engineer Drone Services says, if you were the richest person in the universe, what is the one feature that you would like to see on future UAS? If I was the richest person of the universe, I would not even worry about the features on UAS. I would actually hire lawyers to go after all of these people that are putting out these regulations, and then just take them down with lawsuits. That would be my dream. Just taking down all of these politicians that are just trying to prevent us from flying our drones. But as far as features, I would... a bigger sensor. I would love to see like a massive sensor on a camera. But you can do that already. I mean, the P1, for example, on the drones, on the DJI drones, is just a massive sensor. So I don't know. I mean, drones have become so good that it's kind of difficult to ask for more. Even with the sensors that we have right now, like a 4/3 sensor that we have on the Mavic 3, or Super 35 on the Inspire 3, you get like such good footage. So I don't even know how we can improve them. More flight time, but we're already flying like 40 some minutes. How long do you really fly with a drone to get the footage? You know, do you need an hour? If you're public safety, yes, you do. If you do certain missions like mapping, but for the average person doing videos and photos, you have 3 batteries. It can probably last you for quite a while out there. So I don't know. It's a good question. Dual up Mavic 3, yeah. That'd be pretty sick, yeah, with a controllable camera from a distance. I don't know. Is DJI and Autel Robotics, are they the same thing? DJI and Autel Robotics, for us, internal components pretty much. I mean, they're different companies. They're both made in China, so you can call them the same if you want to, but I don't think neither folks in either company would agree to that or be happy with that. I mean, they are both pretty reliable platforms. One of them has better customer service than the other, but otherwise, yeah. Quick question. I'm planning to shoot at sub... wait. Hold on. I'm planning to shoot at, not with, at sub 250 gram drones on an outdoor shooting range here in Texas with a licensed Part 107 pilot supervising. Liability would be minimal. Film document. Okay. I mean, yeah, sure, that's fine. If that's your own property, and as long as you're not going to sue yourself for shooting at a drone, you should be fine. I don't know what the question is. You said quick question, but you didn't ask a question. So yeah, that would be fun. Show the footage. It would be interesting to see. Brian says, what's the best place to find 3D print pieces for drones? I have a something and a DJI Action 4 I want to use with it. Adapter with drone does not fit with the Action 4 adapter. I mean, Thingiverse and other places like that have collections of 3D models. Otherwise, you may have to build your own. So this is what we do in the office quite a bit. Jason, Ethan, and a couple other people love to do 3D printing, and they love to design these parts. So we've designed parts for our cameras over the years to put in the airplane, to put on drones, to do a whole lot of stuff. South Florida Drone Services says, missed you at the South Florida Drone Meetup. Yeah, same here. I hope one day I can attend and go out there. That would be cool. How difficult is the Part 107 test? I mean, it's all about how ready you are, right? How difficult is a marathon? It depends on how much you train for it. So if you train for it, it's going to be a breeze, and that's what we do. We train people to go through the exam like it's a breeze, and it works really well. So. But if you don't study, I can tell you that you have 1 in 3 chances of failing the exam. Actually, you know what? I never made this post. So at the beginning of the year, the FAA posts the data for the written exams. And now I've been tracking this since, 2023? Since 2018, I've been tracking the data. I have it all on the spreadsheet. Since 2018, every single year, the pass rate has gone down on the Part 107 exam. Every single year. Of the written exams that I track, it is now the second worst exam that the FAA puts out as far as pass rates. The first one is dispatch, which is the certification that we just received. But dispatch has been going on up every year while the UAG exam has gone down. It's gone down 10% in pass rate in the last, 6 years. Okay? Not good. It's not good. Holy crap, it is not good. It's not a good trend. And what's worse is that our pass rate has not gone down like 1 bit. And so it means that everybody else who is teaching is dropping the pass rate. And when you account for the numbers that we put out and what I think our competition put out, it means that 1 in 3 people that self-study fail the exam. 1 in 3, 33% of people who self-study fail the exam. 1 in like 20,000 for us fail the exam, which is kind of crazy to think about. So anyways, all right. After the logo and brand premium content, is there one on website development? Yes, that's coming out next in the premium community. If you're not familiar with the premium community, we have a ton of premium content that we put out for the community where you can learn how to improve your business, how to start your business. We just did one on logo and branding. And then there is some that are designed for website that's coming up. We have a live on that in the premium community, not this week, it had to be pushed, but next week. So Johan, my business partner, he's going to be the one answering all these questions. And come on in and join. You do have to be a member of the community, but it's really affordable. And there is, dozens of hours of content now available, probably close to 20 hours of content available in the premium community. Tons and tons of great stuff. How long should you recommend that you study for the Part 107 exam? I mean, the FAA recommends a minimum of 20 hours. Our course is 15 hours, and it guarantees that you pass the exam. So typically, most people, I think, take the course and do about 30 hours of training total, and then they pass. Forget about damage and destruction to the drone. Wouldn't shooting into the air pose a serious public risk? Yeah, of course it does. Conflict with discharging a weapon in urban area? Absolutely. All these things are absolutely valid concerns that that I mentioned on Friday News Update. And today, again, we talked about it in Post-Flight, which is now available in the premium community. But yeah, no, just a idiotic idea in general. Plus, I don't think I mentioned that in the last couple of days, but I've mentioned it before. So many people are just bad at identifying what is a drone, thinking it's an airplane is actually a drone, which means that people might be shooting at things that are not drones and killing people in helicopters and airplanes. So, yep. I've had my Matrice 30T out flying. Someone was shooting at it with a 22 long range, I guess. It's fine, though they grazed. It was fine. I bought my Mavic. I can't read. You guys have to start using punctuation. Holy crap. They grazed it. It was fine. I bought my Mavic 30T brand new for $8,500. Yeah, that's insane. Hopefully, maybe you have footage of it. And you can see who did it. I don't know. It's crazy. Travis says, if you want to know about use of force, I recommend to look up the case of Tennessee versus Gardner. It's the U.S. Supreme Court. Okay. Interesting. Not familiar with that. Has anyone heard anything about Amazon delivery service? If so, are they expanding or anything? Amazon is not expanding. Quite the opposite, actually. The only ones right now that are doing drone delivery seemingly successfully or semi-successfully is Walmart, using a bunch of different companies to do it. But that's really the only drone delivery service that I know that's doing anything. Amazon laid off a bunch of their folks last year, and it's just, yeah, it's not doing great. Long rifle. Thank you, Vic. I am not a gun person, so I don't know all the details. Anything new on the 200-foot private property state regulation law? No, I don't think it's gone much further. I haven't heard, at the very least. Vic may have more information on that. Yeah, but we didn't talk there. I mean, the only update that there has been is that the thing was proposed, but I don't think it's been killed yet or anything else. Next, John says, should I wait to get my Part 107 before I buy a drone? No, not really. Which DJI drone would you suggest? You don't need a drone. I mean, you should. I would recommend that you get a drone before you get the Part 107. Start flying. You can fly recreationally. As far as drones, depends on your budget, but I mean, I hate to say it, but anything from DJI is good. From a Mini 3, Mini 4, Pro or not Pro, and then a Mavic, an Air 3S. To me, the Air 3S is the best bang for the buck. Air 3 is also a great platform. Air 2S is also a great platform. You can't really go wrong with any of those recent DJI drones. It also depends on what you want to do, of course, but I'm guessing you probably just want to do videos and photos at the moment. Scott says, any hint when the Mavic 4 Pro may come out? Well, that's kind of the question of the year so far. It was supposed to come out last week, I think, according to the rumors. I'm going to say May, but I don't really know anything more than that. So I think it's delayed because of the geopolitical issues that we've been seeing, proposed laws, tariffs, you name it. But that's speculation on my part. Educated speculation, let's put it this way. FA Wings is great. FA Wings, okay. This was great in my area. How to land in a tree, in-flight emergency, blah, blah, blah. What's the worst in-flight emergency you trained for? Two of them that I can think of. Water landing and landing in a tree. Yep. So yeah, landing in a tree, I can see why folks would talk about this. I would land anywhere but in water, and I used to live really close to the water when I lived in Florida. We took off into the Indian River, and then right after that was the ocean. And so on takeoff, we always had, you know, if we lose an engine on this runway, which was runway 9er, then you would basically ditch into the Indian River, which wasn't really deep or very long, and you could have survived in there. But the problem is when you land in the water is you have a possibility of flipping the aircraft over, in which case you have to get out of the airplane and find your way up. Landing in water at night is probably the worst scenario. Having an emergency at night is probably the worst scenario because you don't know where you're landing exactly. But yeah, so anyways, not fun stuff to think about, but something that you have to be ready for. What is a surefire way to attract customers that would want services that an Air 3 teamed up with an Avata 2 can offer? Asking for brainstorm. Oh, that's a tough question. I mean, a great product. That's what are customers after? A great product. I don't think it matters what equipment you have necessarily. Just a great product, something that is going to be different than the competition, look better, look more appealing, that is going to help them sell their product. That's kind of the answer, I think. Bro is breaking NDA. No, I don't have an NDA. Oh, God. Okay. Sorry. I'm reading the comments ahead. Next, just an FYI to the Part 107 difficulty. I passed with a 93 in part thanks to PI. Yeah, awesome. Yeah, 92 is our average score. So the average national score is now 82, I think, which is not good. 10% less than us. What is the work with DJI not selling the new Matrice 4 due to the ban coming up? Will these be hard to buy going forward? Your guess is our guess. I mean, I don't know how difficult it's going to be. If you live close to the border, I would just go to Canada and buy one, or Mexico. I don't know how available they are in Mexico, or anywhere else, really. If you have an international trip coming up, just go and get one. Yeah, tough. Go talk to resellers. I know some resellers have the ability to resell some drones. Next up, you guys have to write those questions better. Holy crap. I can't fly my drone, my Mini 4 at night, ? You can fly any drone at night as long as you have a strobe light on top of it, visible from 3 statute miles. That's really all that matters. Do you want the drone business? Do you see, I'm sorry, I can't even read either, so that doesn't help. Do you see that drone business is increasing or decreasing? I would probably say stabilizing at the moment, because of the lot of uncertainty that is going on with DJI and with just regulation in general. So I think it's not as hot as it was a couple of years ago, that is for sure. But we still see a lot of people succeeding in starting their business and using drones to do a lot of cool things. So, yep. Is there a refresher course that you offer for license renewal, or just review the current course material? The renewal is now done on the FAA, at the FAA level, on the FAAsafety.gov website. There's a course there called ALC 677, and that's what you have to do to get current again. It's pretty quick. I just did mine 2 weekends ago, and I'm ready to go for 2 more years. Do you think I missed the window to buy a Matrice 4, or do you all suppose due time they will get all that tariff stuff figured out and sell on the website again? Oh, I'm sure they will sell those again. The drone just came out, so I don't think it's going to be unavailable forever. But again, go talk to people. Yeah, go talk to people. What would be the drawback currently using an Air 2S for professional work versus using a newer drone? I mean, the drawback is finding a newer drone at the moment, which is difficult. But otherwise, no, Air 2S is a great platform, so I wouldn't really change too much. I have an Autel X-Star. Wow. That needs repair. Do you think it's worth it? Just a hobbyist. I mean, it depends on the repair. Talk to Autel. Talk to DJI. They'll sell you a new drone. Talk to Autel and see if they will try to fix it. Maybe you can find an old one somewhere for parts. I mean, these are definitely older drones now, but yeah. TIE Fighter says, anyone get a good night flight light that's removable to throw on a drone? Yes. The Firehouse, Arc, any of the Arc 5, there's a 6 as well. Any of the Firehouse lights is what we would recommend. We like the company. We like the folks that work at the company. And yeah, they're great lights. We've tested all of them, and that's the one that we recommend. Oh, cool. Yeah. Ethan, yeah, there you go. Ethan put right here. Let's see if it works. Yeah. Oh, right there. Oh yeah, right there, right there, right there. I can't see it live because I'm seeing the feed from. So I'll see myself in a few seconds doing that. Smuggling drones across the border. No, that's definitely not what I said. I said go buy a drone over there and bring it back. That's not smuggling. It's just purchasing an item somewhere else. You can pay the tariff when you cross the border, but at least you'll find a drone. But yeah, don't smuggle. Don't smuggle stuff. You could also fly it across the border and then land on the other side. No, just kidding. Don't do that. Take off from one side, land on the other, and then go get it. Don't be that guy. Yeah, and then send us a link so we can talk about you on News Update. No, don't smuggle stuff. Definitely, please don't. No, you can pay duty taxes on it. I mean, but at least you'll get a drone. Okay. I missed myself talking now on the thing. I missed it. Do you think DJI will release a Mavic 4 multispectral? Who else makes multispectral SUAS or payloads? Not many people do a multispectral payload. I'm sure there will be a Matrice 4 multispectral. There was a Matrice Mavic 4, Mavic 3 multispectral before. I have no doubt they will also sell one. What handheld radio do you recommend to monitor air traffic while flying a drone? If you are in the course, if you go to that section in the course, the radio communication, I have links in there of different radios. Maybe Jason or whoever is doing the questions out there can do that. But I don't remember the name of it. What's the unique? No, not unique. That's drones. It. I know, I can't remember now. Anyways, it's one of those. So you have, when looking at radios, there's two different types of radios. There is a receiver only and a receiver and transmitter. The receiver and transmitter are going to be more expensive, and you are not allowed to transmit on aviation frequencies without having a radio license. And so I don't, if you don't need one, just get a receiver. In your case, it's good. You can transmit if there is an emergency, but the chance of the control tower, unless you're right there, being able to receive that signal is very slim. So, or if it's not going to be great quality. So anyways, all this to say, if you just want to monitor traffic, just get a receiver only. What is it? Yesu. Okay. Yeah, that sounds right. It's got a Y. It sounded like unique, close to it. It's a Y and then something after that. Yep. The good old unique. Yeah. Are they still making drones? I don't think so either. Ralph says Greg is trying to get you to be that guy. No, please don't. I mean it. Don't smuggle stuff. It's not a good idea. But if you do, share with the rest of us. Even though the Mavic 4 is new, it can be flown in the rain, whereas the Matrice 30 can. Yeah, that's true. It's a different product. I mean, the chances of you flying in the rain with a drone, unless you're doing public safety stuff, is slim to none. I mean, if you think about it, if you have a mission, typically, if you're doing photos of a house, right, you're probably not going to do photos of a house for real estate in the rain, right? If you're doing inspections, you might actually need that, but probably not. You probably want a little bit better lighting than a cloudy and very dark. I mean, I know overcast is nice because it removes some of the shadows, but yeah, you're probably not going to do that in the rain either. So I don't know. There are some applications where, yeah. So that's what I'm going to say about that. Wow, we're at the end of the questions. Whew. Red Bull time. Nope, no Red Bull. No. Nope. I don't even know what Red Bull tastes like. What does it taste like, Ethan? Sweet goodness is the definition. Yeah. No, I've really seriously never had one of those in my life. Okay, what else did I miss in the comments? $35, Vic says. Oh yeah, for the Arc 5. Still cheaper than the module. I have my, this is formerly film photography. I have my wide area authorization certificate for up to 200 feet, but it specifically says night flying is prohibited. Make sure that you are allowed to fly at night in your area. Yep, that's correct. So, yep. That's, I mean, great. Thank you for mentioning this. Speaking of, since we're low on question, I want to mention something about waivers. We just got a waiver. We talked about it on Friday in the community, but I haven't talked about it here. Last week, I think it was on Tuesday after we did the live, we received our, we call it our Thunderstorm waiver. We now are allowed by the FAA to fly up to, this is crazy, up to 2,500 feet up in the air, inside of a thunderstorm, beyond visual line of sight, in conditions less than 3 statute miles, and inside the clouds, without a visual observer, to go and collect data on what it looks like inside of a thunderstorm. So the condition is that we need to have a NOTAM, which we will have. We are approved for 6 different locations, and there needs to be a convective sigmet out there. And based on that, we basically can fly in those conditions because we know that nobody else is going to be flying in that area as long as we are below the minimum safe altitude, which is an instrument term. So if somebody was to be flying in the clouds, they would not be flying any lower than, we're 500 feet below the minimum safe altitude, minimum en route altitude. So anyways, so yeah, we put that in a waiver. We didn't think it was going to get approved, and then it got approved, and we have a radius of a half mile. So hopefully we have some cool content. Hopefully nobody gets struck by lightning. And we get to fly in convective activity with a drone, and it's going to be cool. So exciting, kind of exciting. Oh yeah, don't bring the tinfoil hat with you for sure. So let's see. With having a sub 250 gram Mini 4 drone registered and labeled, why do I have to buy a remote ID thing when I just have, when I have just using the OEM sub 249 batteries? Oh my God. Hold on. Let me make sense of the question first. So if you have a Mini 4 and it's sub 250 and you're using the small battery, so I'm guessing you're flying under Part 107. So if you fly under Part 107, it has to be registered, which means that it needs to have remote ID. So that's why you need to have remote ID. DJI decided that that drone does not have remote ID when it's less than 250 grams. Whether you agree or not with it, that's what it is. And so if you use it under Part 107, you need to add remote ID to it. Yeah, I know it's a bit of a pain, but what type of drone are we going to be flying in the storm? The Mavic 2 Pro. So we have a Mavic 2 Pro that it was actually my drone before I even started this company. And I have a skin for it because I tested that for a company that makes waterproof skins. So the drone is somewhat waterproof, and we're going to be flying it in that storm. And it's an older drone, so we don't mind. We're going to have a parachute on top of it. So in case something happens, we'll be able to deploy the parachute. We're still working on the details of how we're going to do that because we don't want to deploy a parachute when in certain conditions. So we want to make sure we're probably going to wait until last minute to deploy it. There is some things that we are still considering, so it is safe. You know, I joke about us doing this flight, but we want to make sure that it is the safest that it can be. And yeah, so it's going to be really interesting for sure. Mini lightning rod on it, yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, I mean, there's a fat chance that this thing doesn't survive, but we will be getting footage out of it. I want to see what it looks like inside of a thunderstorm. It's the safest way to do it, right? Would you want to see what it looks like inside of like a tornado? That's kind of what I want to see inside of a thunderstorm. So with using, I just did that. Okay, next. What's the FAA going to do about the UFO when they come and land on the White House lawn? Hopefully be nice to them, but with current history, probably not. Sorry. Next, any recommendation for drone repair services for the DJI Mini 2 SE? Quite frankly, see if you can do it yourself. I don't know what's wrong with the drone, but we fixed our Air 3 that you can bleep his name. That Kenji, oh, you didn't bleep it. That Kenji crashed. And it was pretty easy. The arm was messed up. We got a new arm, and and it worked. Jared says use Rain-X. Yeah, we'll definitely put Rain-X on it. So yeah, to fix it, see if you can fix it yourself. It may not be as complicated as you think, actually. It also depends on the equipment that you have and how comfortable you are doing that. Oh no, the FA entered the chat. Okay. No, I thought he was going to say something about my waiver. I believe you stated in one of your videos some AMA sites can fly above 400 feet. Does the AMA website or what site would state which AMA site that's possible at? If you go back to that news update, I think it was 2 news updates ago, not this one, the one from the week before, there is a link on the that we put in that shows you the sites that are approved. I don't know how many there are at the moment because I think they still have to go through the approval process for each of the sites, but yeah. Do you have a documentary of sorts where you talk about how you started with flight? Whoa, hold on. And how you came to create this organization? Yes, in the premium community. I think it's one that's available for free, actually. I think we made that one available for free. Yeah. So if you go to community, if you go to pilotinstitute.com/community, you will see there's a landing page there, and I think that's where we made those available. We did a full interview talking about this, and we did one with Johan as well, my business partner, where we talk about it's a pretty cool story. Alien Drones says, thoughts on why agencies do not seem interested in prosecuting interference with drone flights or pilots as an act against an aircraft, shooting it down. I don't know, Keith. That's a great question. I don't know the answer to that. It would be, I think, the FBI that would have to do that, and they haven't really taken interest in doing that, which is kind of sad. My guess, and that's kind of became true, and I've talked about this for several years now, is I said that the day that a drone delivery is going to get hit is when somebody's going to do something because those companies have deeper pockets. And it kind of happened, right? Because a wing drone, Google wing drone, was it Google? No. Was it Amazon? I think it was Amazon, maybe. That got shot in Florida. And sure enough, the guy got in trouble. So I guess my prediction was kind of happen. But yeah, I wish it would be a bit more common. And hopefully we don't wait until somebody gets physically shot, a pilot. So if I'm flying under Part 107, do all my drones have to have ID? I'm guessing you're saying remote ID, and the answer is yes. Every drone flown, regardless of weight, under Part 107 must comply with remote ID. Walmart, I think it was Walmart. Thank you. When does the second quarter photo contest start? Jillian would know that answer. Jillian also said in the premium spotlight space, which is available to all students in the community. So if you go to the community, there is a premium spotlight section, and then the interview is there that I was talking about before. Jillian will get back to us on the second quarter photo contest, and we will let you know. All right, what else? Sorry, my nose is getting stuffy. I'm still recovering from this stupid cough that I caught last weekend. I'm good, thank you for now. Other questions? Anybody else? Anybody else? Anybody else? Put them in here. 10 more minutes. 10 more minutes. I like that Tom is saying 10 more minutes. What else are we going to talk about? If you send a DJI out of chances that year will be held back in customs. Okay, so let's talk about this. That's a great question. If you send your DJI drone for service, will it be held for custom? The answer is actually no. It looks like DJI is sending these through Canada at the moment, based on some reports, and maybe Vic can talk about what happened to his and what, how it worked. But it looks like they're coming from Canada and there is no delays, so be pretty cool. Preston, what else do we have? What is the photo contest? So we do a photo contest every quarter on the airplane and the drone side, both. And you can submit your photos, and then we have a vote, and then you get some money and a cool trophy if you win. And I think we give it to the first 5 people. They get money and stuff. Jared says we just got back our Mavic 3 Enterprise back today. Cool. So did it come through Canada, Jared? Let us know. Any experience or thought on tethered drone operation? Does the tether count to the 107.55 limit? No, it doesn't. It doesn't change any of the regulation, quite frankly. Drone operated with a tether is still a drone operating under Part 107, so the 55-pound limit still applies.
Tethered drones suck to fly because if you're flying them for 8 hours.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
but Ethan says, I don't know if you had your mic, but Ethan says that tethered drones are hard to fly because typically you fly them for a very long time, because you can fly them for a very long time. So top 5 get drone prizes, says Jillian. Thank you. I don't know. I don't think Q2 for the photo contest will be in May, most likely. Meeting about it tomorrow to finalize the detail. Oh, I guess that's what our meeting is about tomorrow. Jared says we sent one back about 2 to 4 weeks. We send one back every 2 to 4 weeks. Is that like a plan? Never have delays from DJI Repair. They have a repair center for consumer drones in Fort Worth. Cool. Okay, that helps. DJI service was completed in California, says somebody else. Can anyone participate in the contest? Yes. If you are a student, you can go to the community. You don't have to be a paid student. You can be a student. You can go in the community and submit to get your stuff submitted. Yeah. All enterprise repairs are done in California. Okay. There you go. Wolfpack adds, the weight of the tether that's in the air does count towards the total weight. That is correct. Thank you for adding that. Yes. So whatever the weight of the tether, it adds on top of the drone. So if your drone is 55 pounds or 54 pounds, 0.9, right before you put the tether, once you put the tether, you have to take that into account. The weight is typically calculated on takeoff, but it would be the same. I mean, if it's on the ground, no, that's not when it's on takeoff. With anything attached to it. Okay. Woo. All right. Well, it's getting close to the end. Maybe one more question, and then we will go from there. Jillian said,
2 more questions.
2 more questions. Let's do 2 more questions, says Ben. Sir, yes, sir. I'll post about the photo contest in both the community announcement and the contest spaces once we have the details. Sweet. Are there, other than Part 137, certification for greater than 55 pound? If so, what are they? So Part 137 is not really for drones over 55 pounds. It's for drones that carry chemicals. And so you have to go through that to use a spraying drone, for example, for agriculture. Over 55 pounds, you want to look at 49 USC 44807. Not 44809, that's recreational, 44807, and then it will tell you more information there. Okay. If you buy a drone from DJI today, how does the tariff apply and who would be paying? You would be paying for it to the delivery people, is what we have seen so far. Okay. That's it. I think it's going to be time to say goodbye. We will be back on Monday next week for the foreseeable future. I don't think I'm traveling. I mean, I'm traveling on Tuesday, but that's different. I'll be in Utah on Tuesday, Wednesday, and then back on Thursday morning. And I'll see you on Friday for news updates, Friday afternoon for happy hour, and then here again next Monday. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Don't be that guy.